All right, so the Baltimore Ravens, let's talk about them here for a minute. So they made a number of really savvy moves in the draft, but one of the quieter ones that may really pay off for them in the long term is David Ojabo. Miles, what's the latest update with Ojabo and the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, Nick, Joshua Reed over at the Baltimore Beatdown had a very interesting article. He talked about how former Michigan Wolverine was surely a first-round lock until he suffered a torn Achilles at his pro day. He was frequently projected to land with the Ravens in countless mock drafts prior to his injury, and the team's brass even admitted that he would have been in strong consideration for the number 14 overall pick had he been healthy. So, Nick, this seems like a really huge value pick for the Ravens to get this guy outside of the first round when they were projected to get him in the first round. But I think there's two people in Baltimore that are even more happy than the fans to get Ojabo, and that's defensive coordinator Mike McDonald, Ojabo's former coach at Michigan, and Odafe Owe, Baltimore's young stud pass rusher, who was high school teammates with David Ojabo over at Blair Academy in New Jersey. How crazy is this that two guys who met each other in high school, played football together, grew with each other in high school, go off, have two completely different paths, and end up playing in the NFL on the same team together?
Well, I mean, obviously that high school is a bit of a powerhouse, and so it's not like it's some middle of the nowhere in Oklahoma that they both seem to go out and meet on the NFL. But yeah, I think this pick, like you said, has a lot of value for the Ravens. And I did a little digging, looking at players who have ruptured their Achilles and have gone on to have successful careers or continued their careers. I got a few examples here. I know you like the last one. So Vince Wilfork, former nose tackle of the Patriots and later of the Houston Texans, blew out his Achilles, and then the next 3 seasons started 47 of 48 games, won a Super Bowl with New England. How about the late, great Demaryius Thomas? Very early in his career, he blew out his Achilles, returned to have 5 straight 1,000-yard-plus receiving seasons. And here's my favorite one right here. None other than T-Sizzle himself, Terrell Suggs, ruptured his Achilles, right? And he went on 26 sacks in the 3 seasons that followed him injuring his Achilles. And that was even at the end of his career. It wasn't like he was young and fresh like Ojabo is. So there's a lot of history and precedent for Ojabo, even in the Ravens organization itself, to come back from this injury strong and be a high-impact player for that defense.
Yeah, Nick, and I want to touch on something I mentioned earlier. So Odafe Owe and David Ojabo were high school teammates. Obviously, they're at Blair Academy. Any kind of private school like that, like you said, it's going to be a powerhouse. But nonetheless, Odafe Owe was on the Jim Rome radio show, and he was asked about Ojabo and their relationship in high school. And he basically said, what are we getting in David Ojabo? And this is what Owe said. I'll give you some of the highlights. He said he's a freak athlete. He's a natural pass rushing savant. He's a very bendy, twitchy guy. And he even said, and this is very impressive for someone as quick as Owe, he said, in high school, he would regularly beat me in races during practice or other things like that. So he said, he, much like Ojabo, they're both very high ceiling guys, a lot of big potential guys. And he said the sky is the limit. When this guy comes back healthy, they are going to be a monster duo on the field.
Yeah, so the thing with Ojabo, and I think you hit the nail right on the head with that Ofe Owawe interview, he is just, like you said, very bendy and flexible. And for an offensive lineman, that is a nightmare to block. It's very, I don't say easy, but it's easier to game plan against defensive linemen that have just maybe 1 or 2 moves. They're very predictable. Even if they're really good moves, you can at least prepare yourself mentally and physically for what you need to do. Guys like Ojabo, who just are completely unpredictable, and like you said, just a natural savant. They just have the natural gift to have moves and counter moves to the counter moves. Those guys just create all kinds of problems for offensive line. So once Ojabo recovers from that injury, he is just going to be a nightmare for any offense the Ravens face.
All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.